is the life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth.
Okay everyone, good morning and welcome to the official first episode of The Making of Home. This is my series all about turning our first house that we've just purchased into a home, and I am so excited because this is what I've been dreaming of for ages, of having this little personal project of renovating a house to maximise it to its full potential. And we're finally here, we're finally doing stuff. Fortunately for you and myself, we're not doing anything too exciting today in terms of renovations. We have one project that we do need to sort out first before we can crack on with any renovations and whatnot, unfortunately. Sucks, but we gotta do some organising first so that we actually can take account of what tools we have homes to put things, and yeah, we just need to do a bit of organisation before we can crack on with any major renovation projects. I'm the saddest of them all about it. I just want to knock a wall down, but needs must first, being very sensible and practical about this stuff. So as the title of this video suggests, this is part one of two of a basement cellar makeover, of just organising our basement, our cellar, which we have made over before. I will link those videos down below. We did a whole little series on taking it from a trash dump to a beautiful storage space, and yeah, so we've come far. We've got a great starting point, but there's just more that we need to do in terms of maximising the space as such. The room itself is directly below where I'm sat. It's about a third of this space, so it's great, but it is very much unused to its maximum potential. And there's a couple of reasons for that. A, it's just not a nice room to be in, so we don't like to go down there as often as we should be going down there for stuff. B, it becomes a dumping ground, so when we don't have room in our recycling bin for cardboard boxes, they just kind of get chucked down the stairs and forgotten about for months. So there's a lot of rubbish that we just need to kind of clear out and get rid of. And the final one is that it's just a damp situation. It's a room that is incredibly damp. It's been all right during the summertime when everything's been quite dry, but today has been incredibly monsoon season. I've just taken the dog out in the rain and it was absolutely chucking it down. And the room itself, as I've just gone down there to kind of have a look at it, feels very damp. So it's hard because it limits you as to what you can and can't keep down there in terms of storage. Like, nothing soft that you want to keep forever, like, can't live there because it's just gonna get ruined. So there are three main goals of this room that I want to tackle over the next two-ish, maybe three-ish weekends. I'm hoping we can do it in two, so it's kind of done and dusted and whatnot. So number one, we need to clear everything out and give me a blank space in terms of what to have a look at. Like, I can't visualize a room with stuff in it. I need to completely haul everything out, get it as a blank space, and then I can really assess, like, are we using the storage to its maximum, you know, opportunity? We need to just kind of see what's going on and yeah, kind of assess from there. At the same time, we need to decide what we're keeping, what can be relocated to a different space in the home, and what needs throwing. There's a lot of stuff down there that we kind of kept and sort of said, oh, we'll just keep it down here until we move and buy a house, and then we'll take it with us to a new house. Well, we bought a house, we ain't moving. So we've got to decide, is it staying or are we donating it or just simply getting rid of? And also in that, there is a lot of rubbish that I just need to take to the bin, which I might just literally take to my kitchen door and just like throw it out from there. And then the final one is just assess the storage situation as such. So I will take you on a bit of a tour, but originally when we did the makeover, we used this really nice wooden racking from IKEA. It's the Ivar range. It's really good. It's really sturdy. I've used it in our home office when I've been creating faux DI walls, you know, like just storage up there as such that I can keep hidden. The only thing about it living in a damp room is that over time some of the legs look a bit funky, so it's a case of I think we need to get rid of some of the racking and yeah, throw it out as such, and yeah, and just kind of reassess. I don't know whether or not it means I'm taking an IKEA trip and spending some money on some like metal storage, or if we're going to keep it as such. I'll give you a tour and I'll show you what I mean when we get down there. The space itself, once we do it, it's one of those things where we're like, okay, it's done. We don't have to think about it again for a while. We just got to keep on top of it, of keeping it organised and whatnot, but certainly just kind of getting it nice and tidy and organised and clean, and then we can crack on with the big projects. Anyhow, I've been chatting for long enough. Let's take you downstairs and give you a bit of a tour of this basement. Okay, welcome to the cellar slash basement of our home. It's not too bad. It's just not a room I like to be in, but I am not one that's going to forget about a potential opportunity to have extra storage in a home that is less than 100 square feet. So we're gonna maximize this to its full potential. Also, just to bear in mind, guys, this is real life. Girl's gotta wear something on Monday, so the washing machine is in the background on the full cycle. So this is real life, guys. You know me, I keep it real with you guys. Anywho, let's talk about what the plan is, at least for this weekend as such. I need to clear absolutely everything out of here. Like, anything you see on shelves that is not racking needs to go upstairs. It needs to either go straight in the bin, or it needs to be located to another part of the home. I definitely know that these 8 boxes here, these are my storage boxes for all my seasonal stuff, Christmas, Halloween, etc, etc. If you have watched my previous video where I talked about my full renovation plans for this home, which I highly recommend if you're interested in a TED talk. It is an hour long, I fully appreciate it. It's a bit of a dedication for watch, but I was just so passionate about going every bit of nitty gritty. You'll know that I talked about there is a spot at the top of our home office that's a bit of a dead space that will eventually have like a wall built across it. Again, go see that video for full context, but this stuff needs to be basically located to its future potential home upstairs. So this will kind of take out that. As well as stuff in here, like this whole section is a full-on are we keeping it or it's going situation. So let's just clear it out and start afresh with this space and just kind of assess what's here and what we can get rid of, etc, etc. I think then we just need to start breaking things down. There's a lot of racking over here that we're just not using anymore and we just kind of need to get rid of. Also, if I turn you a little bit, hopefully this doesn't make the camera go too weird with the lighting. There we go. These little cupboard situations that I built way back when we're meant to hide our electric box and whatnot. I loved them at the time, but they didn't quite work, as you can see. And they've warped as well because they're made of wood, a soft wood that's just absorbed all the damp in here. As much as I would love to hide my meter boxes and make them look pretty down here, I think I just need to call a spade and just take them off the walls as such. So we'll probably be destroying them and just leaving them as their glory of meter boxes in the cellar. Moving you back around here because the lighting is much better over here. We might go to IKEA. There's definitely a possibility of going to IKEA. I don't know whether it's to grab additional storage from the Ivar collection or whether or not I'm going to go for brand new storage. Again, I work better with like blank spaces, so I just need to see what I'm working with and kind of go from there. I'm going to stop putting off the inevitable because clearly all I'm doing is chatting to avoid starting this project. So let's relocate you upstairs and let's start taking boxes out. Hey! Yay! Okay, we have got a little bit of the way there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to disassociate out of this house. This probably wasn't the best day to do it. I don't know, I'm just in a funky mood where I'm just like... But, I mean, it's good that I got it done. I do feel like I've progressed quite a bit, but we're definitely not going to IKEA today, probably tomorrow. But we've got a lot done. We've obviously clipped this entire bed. I took the cabinet off there. So cobwebby, I don't like it. It does look bigger without, I don't love I can see this, but at the same time it's like, what do I do kind of thing. So yeah, I'm kind of leaving it as it is. It's probably something that maybe I can purify another day if an electrician tells me it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg, but it's not the end of the world, you know, like it is what it is, such. So we'll just go with it. Go with it at this rate. But it feels so much bigger in here, like it really does. Also cleared a lot of like this shelving that you can't see It was where all like the plastic boxes were living and such, which was like good intentions of having recycling down here and just never ended that way. I have dumped a lot of stuff outside and I've not told my other half yet, so he's just gonna come to like a junkyard and I'm like, that's your problem to deal with. So have fun with that, darling. But it does feel bigger without everything on here, and I think part of me was thinking of removing this and having this completely empty and like removing the racking from here, but now I'm like wondering whether or not I turn this and put a bit of racking here, because then that will disguise that box a little bit but also give me a bit of storage. I've also discovered that the rotting wood on some of the shelving is not just limited to this side. Like when we've moved the boxes, the legs are also rotting over there. I think this has to do with just where there are damp patches across the space, and I don't know what the solution is to that, again, other than tanking it, and I'm not spending that much money on doing that. I did think about buying a dehumidifier down here because we have like an electrical socket for some reason down here, so it could plug in quite easily here, but I am wondering how much of a difference that will make to the space as such. I mean, it's on offer at the moment for like 30 something pounds on Amazon, so I'm like, maybe I just get it and just see what it does, you know, like no harm, no foul. But yeah, this is kind of where we're up to at the moment. I'm gonna go and have a little bit of lunch and a little bit of snack and then crack on with things. But yeah, I'm not quite sure how far I'm gonna get with everything today as such. I also don't know if I'm going to do, actually I'll show you, it'll be easier to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I was going to talk about how I was going to keep some of this stuff out here, but whilst talking and filming it, I've talked myself out of it. I basically was going to organise all this stuff down here rather than moving it upstairs, but then I got into my head that I could binge The Crown while doing it upstairs, so I was like, that's the option that we're going to choose today. That's what we're going to do. But you can see how we've kind of cleared out this section here. I have a box full of Ash's toys that I'm just gonna have to organise, and hopefully we can just donate them to our vets that can take them in for unwanted puppies and whatnot. So we'll get that sorted because he doesn't need 2 or 3 boxes worth of toys and whatnot. This box here, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. There's a lot of stuff upstairs that's like kitchen stuff, but I don't know where it's going to go. This is like all our kitchen gear that just doesn't have a home at the moment. So there's like our mixer in here, hand whisk, measuring blender, etc, etc. There is a space right above the fridge that's open, which I'm not happy about, but it possibly is the only place for us to put it until we do something with the kitchen. Same with like the ice cream maker. There's just a few bits here that I'm like, okay, we're just gonna have to move them out and get them somewhere as such. But as you can see, we've not got that much to do. I'm not even going to show you the kitchen of where I've been dumping everything, but we're getting there with everything, and yeah, I'm excited that I started this. As I said, feeling a little bit but feeling a bit more positive now that I'm kind of talking to you guys, going through the motions like, okay, we can do this, we've got this. This is gonna be good, guys. Okay, I think I'm done for the day. I think this is me calling time on it. I have done well. I have no counter space left in my kitchen. Already sent pictures of my husband for one, and he was like, shall I pick a takeaway up? And I was like, I think that's the only way we're gonna eat tonight. But yeah, I think unfortunately this is becoming a bit more of a DIY project than I was expecting it to be. I've just cleared out some of this wooden racking to start sweeping up some debris, and the damp situation is a lot worse than I thought it was. Like, it is, we're talking rotten legs on one of these units that used to sit under this situation here. So I don't think that repurposing even some of this over to that side is going to be enough, because as I mentioned, there's a couple of damp legs. There's definitely some damp spots around kind of behind where you are as such, but I haven't pulled a lot of the stuff like out from the DIY section to get full understanding. And although my plan is to keep everything pretty much in these really useful boxes, I'll show you them. These bad boys, like I swear by these, they're so good for stacking and they're so good for storage. No, don't be flashing battery at me. Okay, I'm gonna take you upstairs, give you a new battery and we'll go into it. 1 second. Ooh, okay, I think we're good. We have a new battery. We're all good? Great. All right, before I was really interrupted, as I was saying, everything that I want to put down there, I want to put in those really useful storage boxes because they're plastic, which means they're gonna last down there in terms of the damp. They're also really airtight, so again, anything in them is going to be pretty solid down there as such. And they're also really, really stackable, like depending on the size and stuff, like they just fit perfectly. I know people find them a bit expensive, but for me, I'd rather invest in them a million times over because they have lasted us nearly a decade holding all our stuff, so. But as I was saying, even with them in the boxes, I just don't want them touching those stuff on the shelving rack or anything like that. So I'm going to talk to my other half about this because this is obviously something that we weren't expecting to spend money on as such, but I do think if we're going to make that space useful, it's worth investing in some like anti-rust metal storage down there, which probably means we're not going to get the overall kind of like floor to ceiling situation with storage, but I honestly don't know if we need that much. Like I want to maximize it as much as possible, but I also don't want to turn it into like green gots or anything like that where it just feels like it's an overload of stuff. And I don't think we have much to go down there at the moment, but we don't know what life is going to be like, so I want enough storage to sort of move into. So I think the plan for tonight, as I said, I am done. I'm not going down there again. I'm like done, dusted. I think what I'm going to do is start working through some of the smaller boxes and the kitchen stuff and work out what is staying, what is going. I think I have more than enough time that if I need to take anything to the tip or the recycling centre, I can do so. There's a really nice we have a really nice like recycling tip centre, depending on what you call it, whereby there's stuff that can go into certain like material bins, but they also have these like cabins. I don't know how else to describe them, but one is like for everyday objects that like you can put stuff in and they get donated to charity. Another one's like a book bin, etc, etc. So it's like, okay, like I might as well give them to a good use as such and recycle them that way rather than just filling up my waste bin with everything like that. And I think after that, I'm not going to take, I'm looking at my seasonal storage out of the corner of my eye. I will insert some pictures here of exactly what I'm looking at, but also like what's happening with my kitchen. Like this stuff is everywhere. I clearly did not plan this out correctly. The plan for the seasonal stuff is I think it's just going to live here tonight and then I'm just going to make my husband move them upstairs tomorrow. I'm just going to be like, I'm out for the count, so you need to move them as such. We'll move those into the right place so at least we'll get the living room back. I'm hoping that I can at least get through quite a few of these boxes and then like that gives me an idea. And then I think what I want to do is I'm going to sit down with my pad and just plan out like what exactly is it that I want to go in there and stuff. So obviously I've got my DIY section, which is great, and then there's things like we have an air pump, so I'm like, okay, so that should live down there for like when we blow things up. I don't inflate, that's it, inflate. Oh, can you tell my brain is gone? So like moving that stuff there, but like where does it go? And then like home maintenance stuff. So I think I just need to kind of figure out what I'm having. Like what do normal people have in their garages? Like I need to put that in my garage, except it's the cellar, and also can't put seasonal like clothing and stuff down there, otherwise it will get ruined. So I think that's my plan, is to just basically work out like how I want to do it, start doing a bit of research into racking and stuff, and potentially either go and collect it, like if it's a quick and easy, go to IKEA and grab it stuff, that's fine, or my local DIY store. And I think what I will have to do is set Lee up with the challenge of breaking all the storage down on his day off on Monday. And obviously clearing whatever I've dumped like outside in our courtyard, because I've just gone, that's for the bin, and I'm leaving it for the other half to decide how and where it goes. I'm gonna grab a coffee because clearly I need it. I need a little bit of a pick-me-up, and then yeah, I think it's gonna be time for like just doing a bit of organisation. One thing I do need to do is sort out Nash's toy box, because a puppy doesn't need that many toys, but I know the minute I get into that box he's gonna be nosy about it and want to get everything out. So yeah, wish me luck with that one. But yeah, coffee first, then let's go organising. I've got to afternoon, guys. We got back from IKEA a couple of hours ago and I have just been slowly plotting what I'm going to be doing with this space. I'm having a bit of a hard time with it because I really want to make sure this is absolutely perfect and right, and in the end I need to just accept that it doesn't always have to be absolutely perfect straight away. Like, this is a house we're going to be in for the next couple of years. Like, we can grow into the space. It doesn't always have to happen at once. We went to IKEA to initially pick up some stuff for the shop that we need, but I thought, well, while we're there, we'll look at the racking that I want, because I need to visualize it and to really understand it and make sure it's the right stuff for the room. In the end, I think it is the right stuff. It fits the really useful boxes perfectly. All the other racking I've seen is about 15 centimeters too short in depth, whereas these would really fit the boxes on there. So it is the right one. Unfortunately, it doesn't go all the way up to the top of the room like the Ivar range did. And unless we like cut it off, like actually sawed into metal, it just would, you know, like we have to either go for the 210 ones, which leave about this much gap, or, well, that's it, because the 190 ones won't fit in the room because the ceiling height is like 170 something centimeters. I guess what I'm having a problem is my brain has seen this room like fully utilizing the vertical square footage of the room, and I feel like, oh, we're going to be investing in the wrong pieces if we don't like take full advantage. But we also don't actually have a lot of stuff that needs to go down there. Like, a lot of that stuff we got rid of this weekend, and also we know it's going to be moving to different spaces in the home as and when we sort of renovate stuff. So realistically, what is going to go down there is not a lot. It's going to be DIY stuff, the uni oven, and maybe that's it. Like some pots, like when we bring them in from the garden now that we're sort of clearing out the garden ready for winter and stuff. But other than that, like, what else is going to go down there? Not much really. So I guess it's just getting it out of my head that like it has to be 100% perfect to begin with, because it's not. It's really not. Like, this is a house we're going to be in for the next couple of years, like between 3 to 5 years, I would say, as a kind of first time home situation. Like, we're going to grow into it, yeah, and there may be more stuff to go down there in the future, but like that doesn't have to happen like straight away. And there'll be other ways we can take advantage of the vertical space, and maybe actually it doesn't need to be like floor to ceiling storage. Like, maybe getting a couple of shelving units, and definitely the workbench. I really like the workbench, seeing it in action, I guess, in real life is the way, that's the right word. Sorry, I'm having a day where the coffee is not kicking in, but I saw the bench and it actually is a really nice space, and I was saying to Lee, my husband, like, it'd be really nice actually to have something like that down there, because then if like we're doing anything with like woodwork, usually I do it all in the kitchen. But say I need to just leave something over the night, like set for the wood glue, or, you know, even painting down there, like I can do it and then like we can leave it. And it was really nice. So I was like, okay, that's definitely happening. And also I thought I was going to go for the black frame stuff, but the green was actually quite nice. So now I'm having a bit of a moment of, do I go a bit trendy or do I go classic? I think we all know I'm going to go classic, but let me just mull about for a bit. So I think the rest of the afternoon, other than editing this vlog ready to upload, will be just you playing around with measurements and just getting a sense of the space, and just kind of using the planner to kind of see what we need and kind of cost it up as such. I think the other side of the bit that's making me reluctant to buy it is because I was hoping not to spend too much on this space, but in reality we're gonna have to spend a bit to get it right, but we don't have to spend it all at once. And I think in my head I'm like, oh, that's just gonna eat into the budget of the other renovation project I wanted to do this side of the year. But this is the way these house renovations go, you know. Maybe we can save some money elsewhere. Like, maybe we can just do a few bits and bobs with what I want to do before the end of the year, and then pick it up again later as such. Like, I think it's just getting my head around the want, and like the wanting of, I want to get everything done and completely give you content after content, and even myself, like, just do project after project. Whereas the reality of this house is that we can't do everything at once. Like, we don't have hundreds of thousands of pounds to do like a full-on 6-month renovation in one go. It's going to be a bit of stop start situation. So I just need to accept that reality. Even though my head knows it, I just need to properly accept it. I I do hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope it wasn't too unusual as such, but again, these are the realities of like renovations. Some bits of, you know, the renovation are really boring, of just organizing and being ruthless with what we're keeping and what needs to be donated. Next week I have like a 3-day weekend, so I will be definitely heading to IKEA to pick up what we need on the Friday, and then spending the weekend building everything and putting everything back in its place. So hopefully a little bit of organisation and a little bit of DIY will be of interest to you guys. But I'm happy that you guys stayed to the end if you have done so. Like, again, this is part of making this house a home, and making sure that we have ample storage is one of those things. So thank you so much guys for watching. Like, rate, and subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth.